Thank you for joining the Author Spotlight Show. My name is Gail Watson, President and CEO of Women Speakers Association. As part of running a global community in over 120 countries, it is my privilege that I get to connect and have conversations with women from around the world doing amazing work. It's an important time for women to step up and to find their voice, to own their voice. And it's even more exciting when we see her put those words onto paper so that they are easily shared in a book so the world can hear her message. On today's show, I would like to introduce you to international best-selling author Sherry Morgan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Gail. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, you share a personal story with the book, but a really big message for people. And I can't think of a better time for people to hear your message because it's all about love. So why don't you go ahead and share with us a little bit, behind the scenes of what your story's about and also what inspired you to share this story?
All right, thank you so much. I am thrilled to share the story and what inspired me to share the story that I call Love is Round in the book. That's the title of my chapter. Now, for 20 some odd years, I've been teaching people about spiritual prayer. I call it spiritual prayer to distinguish it from any particular religion. And what I've noticed is that people connect when they connect with their spirit with spirit around them. It's healing, it's loving, it's relational, guidance is available, and it really, really helps people. So Love is Round landed in my prayer time in 2015 after about 15 or 17 years of teaching people about prayer. And it explained to me what that experience is, that experience of connecting in spirit and experiencing love. What I see is that love is not in isolation, love is in connection. And it can be in connection with people, of course, or a pet or something like that, but it's also very present in our connection, our experience of connection with aspects of the living world. So I'm a white woman, and I grew up in a fully colonized culture. And in that way, did not experience any kind of connection. No real loving relations at all, in a sense. And so I feel like I've had I've had more than three teachers, but in three indigenous traditions, I've had elders teaching me about the phenomenon of prayer and ceremony and connectedness and relatedness. And so I feel like I'm a bit of a bridge now, after a long journey myself. I feel like I'm a bridge to help people get back to that sense of belonging, of being connected, of being loved, and of being loving. When we open our heart to the love, we become more loving as well. We find our purpose. We have a sense of meaning for our lives. It's altogether a joyous experience.
I love that when you were sharing about that bridge, I did get that visualization of you,
Mm.
just this beautiful, peaceful bridge of connectiveness, and that's such a powerful thing, especially right now, given what we've just come or we are going through. We are in a disconnected world
Yeah.
where we're being uh, taught how to isolate. We're being taught how to disconnect. So, as you take readers on this journey with you, what do you want them to take away from your story?
What I want readers to take away from my story is that they are deserving, they are loved, they belong, they are connected, they do have a purpose. There is meaning for their lives. The fear that we live in a lot and anxiousness and so on is actually mostly unwarranted. There's generally no threat impending in our lives, but we live in fear, I think, because we don't feel connected and loved and belonging, and that we have purpose and meaning and all of that. So people are lost, and I would like to help people find that meaning, that purpose for their lives.
That's fantastic. And this, now you have another bridge. You actually, from this story, you bridge into your business because this is what you do for people.
This is what I do for people. I teach people about the phenomenon of prayer, what I call spiritual prayer, just to distinguish it from religious prayer. Some people are religious and some people are not religious, and that's fine, but we are all spiritual. We're all spiritual beings. And as such, we are loved. We are loving. The universe is, a core design of the universe is love. And it spins around, and love is round. And we are part of that. We are an intrinsic part of that, but we don't necessarily experience it. So I teach people what's in the way. First of all, I teach people what's in the way of their experience of connection, because we're all connected all the time, but we're not aware of it. And as such, we struggle and suffer a lot. So I teach people what's in the way, and then I help them get out of the way what's in the way of their experience of love. And I give them some exercises to do, and certain kinds of meditation, and prayers of gratitude is something that I really believe strongly is ultimately useful for people.
It must be so satisfying for you to witness transformation and that eye opening for people when they get out of the way of themselves to receive.
We have a lot of belief that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve, that we're unlovable, that we're not smart enough or pretty enough or rich enough or successful enough or just generally good enough. It's rampant in our culture. It's perhaps the worst pandemic that we live in, and I've lived with. And my twin brother committed suicide because of his self-loathing and giving up. And suicide is rampant, growing in our culture, and anxiousness and nervousness and addictions and so on are all growing. So I think it points to this sense that we're lost and don't feel connected and loved, and we have a purpose and we belong. So I help people with all of that.
Well, what a special gift you are for sure to this world, because it is what we need right now. And to be able to give that gift to someone, to just even open their eyes, to become aware of what, if they're in their way of themselves, and that they are worthy. So thank you for that. With that, I'm sure everybody listening right now could use a copy of your book to get this story. But and so we want to know, first of all, where can we get a copy of your book?
Okay, my website is loveisround.net. And the book will be listed on the media page. So loveisround.net/media. People could also get in touch with me either through my website or email me directly at sherry@loveisround.net. And Sherry is spelled SHERRY.
Easy. Loveisround.net. Great way to connect with you. Love it.
Yes.
I'm just thinking as you were talking how many people would, be feeling your story and really relating to it. But I also can't help but think of the so many people around us right now, many people around us, that we are feeling isolated. Our self value, or how we look at ourselves, is maybe depleting. I can't help but think your story would be a phenomenal gift to give someone, just to let them know that you see them, that you care. So out there to our audience, if you're looking at getting a copy for yourself, maybe pick up another 5 or 10 and think of, you know, some names of people who could really, really use this and just have this as just a form of appreciation to that person, to let them know that you see them, that they are loved, and you care.
Yes.
It's just such a nice gift. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Sherry, and thank you for sharing your gifts with this world. You're amazing. You just hear it in your voice, your softness, your love coming through, and grateful that you're a bridge for us that we can cross.
Thank you.
You've shared many great pieces of information. Why don't you leave us with your words of wisdom that will carry us through the rest of today?
Thank you, Gail. So, my words of wisdom, I guess I've shared a bunch of them, but we're living in isolation a lot these days. And so it may seem like connection is really not that possible uh, at this time, especially. But the the wind and the rain and the trees and the plants and the animals and the ocean and the bushes and all of life did not go away, is not in isolation. It's there for us at all times. And one of the greatest teachers for me were my own prayers of gratitude in nature to everything that I could think of or witness in nature. And I gave thanks directly to that aspect of nature. So, for example, thank you, apple tree, for feeding me and feeding various animals. Thank you, all the trees, for taking the carbon dioxide out of the air and providing oxygen for us, for holding our earth together, for housing animals and insects and birds. Thank you, wind, for carrying the clouds to the corners of the land and bringing the rains, the precious life-giving rains. So as we give thanks to two aspects of nature, not thank you for these, but actually thank you to, we build relationship with these aspects of nature. We begin to experience that they actually get it and appreciate it and love us back. It opens us to that relationship and opens them to enter via our hearts. We can experience guidance from those practices. We don't even have to go out in nature, although it's nice if we do, of course. But it's a practice that anybody could take on, and I recommend it. My first teacher of prayer was an Ojibwa elder, and she said, "This is how we, her people, gather medicine for our lives." So I would invite people to gather medicine for their lives by giving thanks, copious amounts of thanks every day, to aspects of nature.
That's so beautiful. And you're right. Well, you hear that we're people are out in nature more, walking, taking time to, and I was just thinking that just recently, going, while I feel like my own life is upside down, oh, up come I'm starting to see the tulips starting to pop their heads through. They're staying on the same cycle. They keep on coming, and they're gonna show their beauty.
Yeah.
So, oh, you are just so wonderful and such a big heart. And thank you for sharing your love with us today. Really
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you. And to our listeners today, I want to thank you for joining us. Get connected to Sherry Morgan. She is a woman you need to know. We look forward to connecting with you again very soon. And wherever you are in this world, we wish you a happy day and a day of gratitude. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.